So a bit of a refresher for how this episode will work. As we have 10 levels left, and 2 of them are rack up your KO counts. I'm thinking that we'll tackle both of them within this episode, having one of them at the beginning and one of them at the end, just so we get them out of the way and we can focus on doing the remaining levels for future episodes. But yes, did record these at the end of the last recording session, so not entirely sure what happens, but I mean, they're fairly simple levels. Like just the fact that we have to, or just the fact that we're using Wizro with this one just kind of feels a little insulting. Only because it's like, especially with a level where we don't need to worry about damage, using Wizro is probably gonna be like really easy, so I mean, it's kind of why I'm using this level as a sort of heads up on how this episode's going to work. Although that being said, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just saying words at this point. I mean, as much as I'd like to say we won't be seeing too many more of these levels in future, I kind of get the feeling that we might. I want to say that even though there'll be missions similar to this one, just with a different premise, that the amount of levels we can't finish, or we have to use the runtime allotted, and we can't end earlier or later, will probably stay the same, if not increase. It's just that what we will be doing from level to level will be a bit different. So, one level we might be getting KOs, one level we might be getting rupees, next level we might be facing a specific enemy, I don't know. I just really don't like these levels, as I've stated numerous times before, and I will not shut up about them because I just... ugh. Like, I want to say the thing that sucks about this the most is that we've got 2 levels that are essentially the same thing. It's just that one of them has a limit, has a time limit, and has a set amount of enemies to kill, whereas one of them, its time limit isn't as lenient, and even though you are graded on the amount of KOs you get, it's a unlimited sort of deal, which still kind of sucks. I definitely think that this really should have been a whole thing of like, how quickly can you get to 1200 rather than just how many you can get. I think that would have been better, but yeah, first one's done, on to the second, but before that, the actual episode itself. I'm thinking that we will get this out of the way, just because I don't like it. So yeah, I'm definitely thinking that this will be the recording session that we end this map. So if that ends up being true, who knows? Hopefully it does, and I'm hoping that, or I know it might not be feasible, but I'm trying to aim for 5 levels off, or 5 levels, yeah, 5 levels remaining at the end of this episode, so then I can kind of take my time with the episode of, like, with episode 100. I'm definitely hoping for a shorter episode 100 than episode 99. But, you know, so if this episode goes over just a little bit, or the next few episodes go over just a little bit, that's sort of why. But yeah, something I'm really surprised I didn't mention last recording session, although I did kind of forget about it. So nice, 2 berry bases, that sucks. Yeah, is the fact that I played through the main story of Sparks of Hope, finally. I've had it on my Switch for like a long while now, ever since it went on sale. Although, it being a Ubisoft game, it goes on sale quite a bit, so I didn't really have to buy it then, but it just did. Yeah, I want to say I'm a little conflicted about it. Like, in some ways it is a vast improvement over the first one, but in other ways I'm just like, I think I kind of prefer the way that the first game did it. Like, for one, even though I don't like how you didn't end up getting the final party member until the final chapter, or halfway through the final chapter, mind. I think I would take that over getting almost every party member at the beginning of the game, because oh man, sore throat. Yeah, I found myself a little overwhelmed, and I just did not know who exactly I should be using, or who I should switch out to try someone else out. I think I ended up just going with Luigi, Bowser or Rabbid Mario, and then Rabbid Peach. Because even though Rabbid Peach wasn't the best character, I found out online, the fact that I had Luigi, Bowser, or Rabbid Mario on my team just kind of made it so that I was fine having having a healer on my team. Even though her damage wasn't the best, the fact that she could heal, and she could heal pretty often, that was fine with me. I didn't really mind, didn't really need anything else. But man, just having the returning cast just thrusted upon me, it's like, what the fuck? What do I do here? How are you in trouble? There's no red around you. What? So I should probably be doing Gandalf things. Yeah, and then something I'm a little bit iffy about is the whole spark system. Because it has been a while since I've seen gameplay of it, but I'm fairly sure that in the first one, every character had their own separate element, and you couldn't really pass on if you wanted to use an element of some sort, you had to use that character. But no, because that whole system has kind of gone onto the sparks, you could pretty much really use any character you wanted, only if you used that certain spark. And I want to say that went alright, the transition to that was alright, but there was one thing I did notice, is the fact that Rabbid Luigi was hit the hardest, as I want to say that his role in that, in the first one, was just to cause status and heal himself through the vamp ability, or vamp element, that whole thing. And you can't exactly do that if everyone can cause status and heal themselves via vamp. So I'm kind of surprised how early you got a vamp ability. Because that's just somewhat downright broken. Also, another thing I kind of wanted to mention. Why? What? Why are they both here? I don't need this. Yeah. Damn it, did I forget already? What? Yeah, like that's just kind of a downright broken ability. Just having that so early just made things a lot easier. Oh yeah, right. That's right. That's what I was getting to. Also, like I'm not sure if it was like this in the first one, but the fact that there was a weakness element, like a strength element, a weakness strength element, like in Pokemon, for the enemies, felt a little bit weird. Like. Some cases it made perfect sense as to what was weak to what and what was strong against, like, what wasn't weak against anything else. But because they made, like, a whole bunch of enemies look really similar to each other, I just did not know what. Just had a really hard time remembering what was weak to what. Like, all the wizard enemies, what? Like, why? Also, the fact that they have a vamp enemy in there too, or an enemy that uses vamp attacks. It's like, yay, fun! You get to use, or you're using my ability, you're using my strategy against me. Nice. Although, the only real issue I had with that is the fact that the vamp ability was so strong. You know, their attacks are just really strong. Like, I want to say that around the time they introduced, the standard enemy does around 200 to 500 damage. But no, here they come doing 1,000. It's like, what? Why? Okay, that's someone I should look out for. Although that being said, this is almost over. I should probably remember if this thing had a treasure. I think it does. I think once I take over this base, I'll go deal with the final enemy, and then I'll start cutting around to when we find the treasure, because I don't think things are going to hold out much if we continue to go about the way we're doing things. Please be, no, what? Why? I hate you. Yeah, it just felt very annoying, and one thing I was not a fan of was the Wild Claw enemy. I'm just gonna assume it's closed because we haven't finished the first mission yet. Like, that's why. And in the second last area of the game, they introduced a water element, Wild Claw, and man, not only are they strong, but they have a lot of health too, and I don't think electric had a use. Or it didn't have a good use outside of just hitting for super effective damage. Like, I think that's it. Although that being said, they did, like, I think if enemies are close enough, they will spread to other enemies as well and do damage to them. Although some damage, not a lot of it. Okay. I'm thinking that I'll clear this space out and then I'll start cutting around. Hoping this is it. Okay, no. Time to move on and find other things. Although, what's the bet it's in Hyrule Castle? Like, that's where it's going to be. So I couldn't find any treasure here, although that being said, I get the feeling that it's for another warrior if there is treasure here at all. I wouldn't really be surprised if it wasn't any, it's just the A rank reward. Which I think it is. Although, oh well. Not bad by any means. I mean, we got the A rank on time, which should be good. I'm a little surprised how quickly this went. It's like normally these things don't go this quickly. Although we are using Ganondorf, so, you know, whatever. Yeah, the aptly named Riptides do a lot of damage. And another thing about the Wild Claw enemy I didn't really like was the fact that there wasn't a good indicator on which variation would move towards you if you hit it, and which ones wouldn't do that. Although, that being said, there were only two that didn't. The Magnafowls and the Ice variant. I want to say those are the only ones that didn't do that. But outside of that, it was... they would follow you, I think. Okay. It feels weird not seeing damage being an indicator, like it being a requirement. What? Why? Okay, it was just that. What? Why? Okay. Off we go to defeat the imprisoned for the 1000th time. And people say Skyward Sword is bad with its imprisoned fights. Jeez. Although that being said, I wonder how many, like, what boss we fought the most. I want to say it's the, wait, is this Don't Get Hit? This could very likely be a Don't Get Hit, and that is not something I'm looking forward to. That could be an issue if it is. Do I want to do it for science? Okay, no. It must be a you can't guard. That's it. Although that being said, why do you even need to guard at all? Is the main thing I wanted to say. Okay, I don't think you do. That's another thing I wanted to mention. I'll ask about. Did the first game have a like a scouting feature you could just use whenever you wanted to, whenever you wanted to? Because I mean, I guess it makes sense having it if you just forget what enemies are weak to. That could be a helpful feature in and of itself. Don't think it did. I want to say that they... I think enemies did have weaknesses in the first one. Because I think the game like recommended a character for you to use, and like that's sort of why. Although, that being said, the only character that sort of has an element is Bowser, only because you can upgrade his ultimate, or like his special, to make it have a flame element to it. Although, that being said, doing so isn't probably the best idea, especially if you don't give him a fire element spark. Only because then you get to see the great sight of Bowser running around with his tail on fire. something I don't think has happened since Galaxy, now that I mention it. Huh. Also, the biggest downgrade out of everything is the fact that Luigi no longer dabs. And mostly the fact that, you don't have secondary abilities, or you don't have secondary, weapons anymore. I mean, it sucks not having those, but you don't really need them. Yeah, for the most part, not having access to them didn't really feel too bad. Like, I wanted to say Luigi felt a little bit weaker than normal, only because you couldn't send out sentries, or whatever they were. I'm doing the wrong attack. That was a waste. Maybe it's no healing. Yeah, it's no healing. Okay. That makes things a little bit easier, although that being said, I would hate to not do this on damage, or fail this on damage. Would hate if that's the case. Wait, please don't tell me his feet, his toes are invincible when he does that. I'm not sure. I'm truly not sure. I would not be surprised if they were invincible. Like, that just kind of feels like something they would do. Hope they don't get out their hyper beams. Okay, so it would take 2 more of those and then he's done. Although that being said, I want to say the thing is half mode. His power up is at half. Yeah. Okay, that could make things a little bit harder. I also want to say that the Imprisoned is the only boss that gets a upgrade, like a second phase of sorts. Okay, that's not very fair, guy. Okay, I would like this guy to go down. Okay, cool. I definitely want to save the force attack with the second one. Okay, cool. He's gonna get up over. Oh, he's gonna get up right away. That's good. Just really hoping that we aren't gonna fail this on damage, because that is very likely with the Imprisoned and Spall arenas. Like, why? There was another thing about Sparks of Hope I wanted to mention. Oh yeah, right. The fact that there was, or the battles weren't baked into the scenery so much. What I mean by that is, in the first one, there was kind of a reason as to why you were fighting each specific area, as in the overworld, the battlefields were baked into it. Whereas in this one, you kinda are teleported to like a void somewhere in every fight, which on the face of it I liked. As you could have more impressive scenery. But one thing I didn't really like is the roaming enemies, because man, Especially Barrendale Mesa, man, running away from enemies was just annoying. Dealing with enemies was just annoying. Because like the first like area you get into with the Mesa, it's just packed full of enemies. It's like fun. Like a lot of the time they will have like a thin area and you have to run through that area to get to somewhere. Like they would have a hallway and then have an enemy in that hallway. It's like, why? Although that being said, they did have like a lot more side quests, and that's something I liked. That's gonna be an easy one. Oh no, it's not. No item attack. Okay. Okay. So if I do one more level, what's this gonna put us at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh. Perfect. I know this would sound weird, but I'm thinking about doing this one now. Maybe even going as far as to skip over the first attempt if we fail it, only because it is this type of mission and that can kind of cause problems. But that being said, I'm not going to go silent just because I'm doing a thing. Well, doing this somewhat differently. Although that being said, do I not have anything good with Impa? I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense considering that we have like, barely used her, but is that I kind of go a little bit silent whenever something isn't really looking good. It was especially noticeable in the last one. That's kind of annoying. Is there ever a point where there's 2 judges for the one character? What? I mean, why is it telling me this? Okay. I mean, I know why it's telling me this, but it was just a very odd example. Because I don't think there's ever been a level where there's 2 heart pieces for one character. What? Why? I'm thinking that if I'll show the results of the first attempt and then go into the second. If we failed. Okay, yeah. That's not an A rank. So I'll go over this again. I'm just going to skip by that. Go do a blah blah blah. Okay. We just have to worry about time. That's good. There's no such thing as too much damage. We can do this. So with that being said, let's dive back into this. So second attempt was the one we did it in. Would have preferred to do it in one, but I mean, I guess this way we can kind of save time for the episode somewhat. Just because we can speed this one up. But yeah, biggest improvement from the last one is that I spent less time running from horde to horde and just fighting everything. As well as using attacks with shorter animations, I should say. Also, something that definitely helps is waiting until an enemy, like a large crowd, builds up, and then you can kind of just mow them all down at one attempt. Then doing a complete lap, I want to say. Although that being said, I would much kind of prefer like not doing these level types. Like, I kind of wanted to rank every single mission type we've done so far, and I want to say that these are done like lowish. Although, if I wanted to do all the specific individual vanilla types is another thing. Although, that being said, what would be lower? Rack up your K count, these, or turncoat. I think there would be joint F. Maybe. These might be a D+, a D- at best. These aren't really fun. Although that being said, they are at the very least better suited or better thought out than the rack up your carry count, because at least you can complete these before the time runs out, and you don't have to wait for the time to run out. But yeah, that being said, we did the A rank. 2 attempts instead of one. I'm just glad that we didn't have to end up taking like 3 or whatever. But yeah, back to in the moment, oldies. Okay, that should be it. Okay, cool. It is. Definitely a bit of an old way to do things, but I mean, we did it. Okay, only 5 more levels left. And only 1 more of these left to boot. Yay. And it's the 1000 too, so joys all around. Okay, I'm thinking that because we still have 1 more level to go over, I won't do my outro here, but at the end of that. But yeah, here's a level I recorded the footage for a few days ago. So welcome to the best grinding spot this side of the Master Quest map. Sucks it took us this long to get to it, but I mean, better late than never, I suppose. Also, yes, I am using an 8-bit weapon with no skills. Now I know how they work. Oh, now I know how they are given out. I mean, I guess I should probably use them in some way or another. It's just that, why aren't they like the other weapons? Like, why? Like, if they were just a skin, I would understand that, but no, they're just an alternate version of your level 3. Just that the first one can't have any skills whatsoever, and you will have to wait until you get another one to get more skills, or to be able to get one that does have skills on it. Which just feels really, really weird. Like, I mean, the first level 3 weapon you get for a character has empty skill slots. Why can't the 8-bit weapons do that too? Don't know. I really hope that the Definitive Edition doesn't copy this too. Because I think, even though the way they go about doing the 8-bit weapons is slightly different, I want to say that they are thingy thing. Although I'm not totally sure, only because the Definitive Edition and I guess the 3DS version have stronger version weapons than the level 3, so maybe it could be alternate level 4 pluses instead, or just level 4s, maybe. But yeah, I have since been using this level for grinding, only because I've had some struggles coming into 1,000 KOs for a specific level and a specific character, but I'm hoping that for too long I will be able to do that level and get an A rank for it. I can complete it. It's just getting the A rank, which sucks. But yeah, for the level itself, not that interesting. It's like, yeah. Like, the most notable thing about it is that it's the best grinding spot, at least in the Master Quest map. I want to say that in the Twilight map, there is a better version of this, I think? I want to say? I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, as this level wraps up, I think I'll do my outro. But yeah, next episode we'll collect the final set of Skulltulas. But until then, that has been I'll see you.